Hey, my keto friends. It has been a while since I have been able to do a video for you. My house has been under construction, and although it wasn't in the kitchen, some things affected the kitchen. My kitchen was a mess. My house was a mess. Finally, we're all done. I am celebrating with a new video. This one I'm getting face-to-face with you, kind of fun. And I'm going to make a recipe out of easy keto desserts. And yeah, we're going to make the peppermint patties out of easy keto desserts. It's the first recipe in the book. It's really popular and it's completely dairy-free and sugar-free. So the first thing we start with is just some coconut oil. This is half a cup of coconut oil. And I have softened it slightly in the microwave because it's winter right now. When it comes out of my cupboards, it's nice and firm. So I want it to be a little bit softer. Then all I'm going to do is add to that. I've got some organic coconut cream here, and I'm going to add 2 tablespoons to my coconut oil, or roughly 2 tablespoons. And then we're just going to beat these together. And all we add to this is so simple, guys. All we add to this is powdered sweetener, and I'm using Swerve, and I keep them in my nice little canisters. So that's half a cup of Swerve sweetener. And then I've just got a little bit of peppermint flavor or peppermint oil. And I like mine kind of minty, so I'm going to do 2 teaspoons of the peppermint oil, but you could use as little or as much as you like. And again, you can see it's like buttercream frosting. Okay, now that I've got everything nice and smooth together, I am just going to plop it onto some wax paper. You can use parchment paper. You want to pick a cookie sheet that's going to fit in your freezer because these are going to have to freeze for a little while. Any kind of tray or cookie sheet, something that can go in the freezer will work. And then I'm just going to take any old spoon and take a blob and plop it down. And then I just want to kind of put it into a little circle. Again, they don't have to be perfect. They're going to be fine once they're frozen. And that's all you really have to do. There we go. We've got them all. We've got 12 here, which is exactly how many the recipe makes. You could make them smaller or bigger if you wanted. And all we need to do now is freeze them. These need to freeze for about 2 hours to be firm enough to dip in chocolate. Okay guys, so now my peppermint patties, which have been in the freezer for about an hour and a half, they seem pretty solid, so I'm going to start making the chocolate shell. So what I've done is I've taken 3 ounces of sugar-free chocolate, sugar-free dark chocolate, and I always use Lily's. And I've also put in, and you can see right here, I've put in a little bit of cocoa butter because that tends to help it melt more smoothly and coat more thinly. If you just do the chocolate, you tend with a very thick coating, and then you have to use more of the chocolate and it's higher carb. So I always like to combine it with just a little bit of cocoa butter. You can do coconut oil too, but I find that it makes the coating a little too thin. So I've just got it over some simmering water. I'm going to turn that down a little. And I basically just keep stirring it until it's nice and smooth. Okay, so my chocolate is almost ready. There's a few little tiny lumps in it, but we'll get those out. And you can see it's nice and thin and smooth. Perfect for coating something. Okay, I've got my peppermint patties, and you can see they're on the tray, and they are very frozen. You can take them right off really easily. Just pull them right off of the paper. So that's what you want. And a good idea, if you live in a hot climate or it's warm out, get them into the freezer and just use one at a time as you're doing this. We're just going to take one. Okay, and I use 2 forks. You want to do this pretty quickly. You don't want it to melt. Flip it over a few times. Tap off all the excess chocolate. Otherwise, chocolate goes everywhere. And then just push it back onto your tray. And you flip it. And whoops, come here. And you tap off the chocolate. and you put it right back onto your tray. Now these probably should be kept in the fridge, but because I've melted the chocolate with cocoa butter, they're pretty solid at room temperature and you can keep them out, but it's probably best to keep them in the fridge. And that's it, guys. That is all you need for some delicious and easy sugar-free, dairy-free peppermint patties. These keto peppermint patties are fabulous and they are found in Easy Keto Desserts. I'm also going to put the recipe on my blog, All Day I Dream About Food. But I will hope you will consider getting a copy of Easy Keto Desserts. It's a wonderful reference, lots of tasty treats, many of them dairy-free, all of them sugar-free and grain-free. Available at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, sometimes in Costco, and I think sometimes in Target as well, and some independent sellers. So I hope you will consider purchasing it. Enjoy, and go have a peppermint patty.